Hi Portland Fire Rescue, I'm Jessica Cohn, your wellness coordinator. Today we're going to be going over how to improve on the overhead mobility assessment. So here's the QR code for the overhead mobility assessment. When we're specifically looking at overhead mobility, one of the tools that we want to use is a foam roller or a lacrosse ball to massage into the muscles of the upper back and like the back of the shoulder, and then even in the front and the chest to loosen up those areas to allow better range of motion. We have videos that incorporate using a lacrosse ball. So here are the QR codes for those shoulder mobility videos that incorporate using a lacrosse ball. Today, what we're going to focus on in this video is choosing one static stretch that we use to improve our overhead mobility. A static stretch should be held for a long period of time, ideally after a workout or after a warm-up. So a lot of the times I get asked, how do I improve my mobility? What do I do? I always ask, how long are you stretching for? And the common answer I'll hear is, about 15 seconds, I'll hold a stretch. You need to hold the stretch longer, especially if you're tighter in the area, so I encourage you hold for a minimal of 2 minutes. So I'm going to give you a few stretches to choose from for your overhead mobility, and you're going to hold with me for 2 minutes. So here's the stretches for you to select from. The first one is to use a foam roller, and I'm going to give you an alternative option even with like a larger med ball, or you could use a stability ball. But you want to place the foam roller right behind your upper back, right about the armpit. Bring your arms down, and you can mix up between palms like facing towards your legs or palms down. But what I want you to do specifically for our overhead mobility test is go palms down as close as you can. Really focus on tummy tight, rib cage locked down. Don't arch, because we don't want to arch to allow us to stretch further. So keep everything tight. If you put the booty down, just keep that rib cage locked down. Again, don't lose that rib cage. And then you're going to reach with your arms as straight as you can overhead. And we're going to just use gravity to help us stretch a little further. Ideally, if you can handle it, I like to personally lift my glutes up and allow my arms to hang. If it bugs your neck at all, you could even roll a little further and just allow those arms to hang back. So that's one stretch option that I want you to hold for 2 minutes minimally. The other option is to use a ball placed in the same area. Arms narrow for that overhead mobility, and just lay back and let gravity take those arms. You can also mix up between going to like the Y position for our prone hold, or even the T position, A position. But whatever you decide to do, try to hold for at least 2 minutes. One little extra thing that I will add in is using a little bit of weight. So only do this if you know that your shoulders can handle it. And I'll hold a little bit of weight in that overhead position. And what I'll do when that becomes too much for the stretch, and if I feel like I'm like resisting the stretch because of the weight, is I'll just lower the weight down and then continue with the stretch. So the third option that is one of my favorite overhead mobility shoulder stretches, it's just from a wall. So you're going to place your hands on the wall, keeping the arms straight as you can. Watch your neutral spine alignment. Try not to arch on this stretch. So you can place the hands where you're comfortable, and then your feet about 2 feet or so up from the wall. And you're going to just push your chest down, keeping your tummy tight. One of the feedback that I will get on overhead stretches, especially this one, is for the individual to feel tingly in their fingers and their arms. It's nothing serious going on. A lot of it's the blood flow is being restricted in that stretch, and it's also coming down towards your shoulders. So if you feel that feeling, just bring your arms down, shake it out, take a quick little rest, and then try to go back into the stretch. Okay, so now pick your stretch, and I'm going to make you hold now for 2 minutes. Get ready. In 3, 2, 1, start holding. Remember to keep your tummy tight and your glutes tight and adjust as you need to during the stretch. If you need to take a break, at any time take a break, but try to accumulate 2 minutes holding the stretch. So even for this point, for me, the ball's become a little too much. I'm starting to shake a little too much, so I'm going to lower the ball and just continue stretching.
50 more seconds.
And without the ball, I'm not feeling it too much at this point, so I'm even just going to go a little bit wider to that Y position to feel a little bit more of that stretch, just at a different angle. Okay, good job holding for 2 minutes. Remember, that's like a minimal recommendation that I have, especially if you're tight. So I get it after workout if you don't have time to stretch. You know, I get it and I don't get it. It's something that you need to work on, and so you need to make the time for it. So that's why I tell people pick one stretch that you know you need to do. If you have a shoulder issue, it's a shoulder stretch that you hold for 2 minutes or longer.